populated. Out of probably first, Iran was probably second. The other countries, Uzbekistan probably third. But like the Pamirs, you're pretty much out in the middle of nowhere. Mongolia, middle of nowhere. So yeah, you just do what you have to do.
And what were your children's, like, you know, do they still talk about it? And what were their impressions of it?
Sia, my eldest, the other day, she said, I wish we were, on the bikes and cycling around again.
Yeah.
I guess probably maybe not such a good day at school. And she's just thinking, that was probably
that
a
feeling
good
of
time.
freedom and,
Exactly.
and destination. And
never know what's
They say that with everything. Like, it's good to have some goal-based thing. We're heading to this area. Like, that's what I said, if you go camping as opposed to staying at Versace, even though they're both cool.
Yeah.
But the little adventure you get into,
it's always going to be a lot more
you need
memorable.
to find something and you have a clear thing in my mind. We need to do this to sleep tonight. We lost the tent
and it
pegs.
builds resilience too, because we were able to do that.
Yeah. And the kids, they would be, at the end of some days, they'd be just buzzing. Especially when we got over some passes. Because in China, there was our first, we went through a couple of passes, or over a few passes in Mongolia, but they were fairly, reasonable. They're all around 3,000, 3,500 meters. And because, you're in Mongolia, you're on sort of like a plateau, so you're sort of starting at around 2,000 a lot of the time.
Gee.
But over in China, we started, because we got a taxi from the border down to a place called Urumqi, which is sort of the capital of Western China. And then from there, we had two choices. We could cycle around the mountain range through the desert, or we could go up and over the mountain range. Up and over the mountain range was a pass called Victory Pass, and that was 4,700 meters, I think. So it was a fairly decent path. So we spent 4 days cycling up this pass from Urumqi. It was about 150 k's from Urumqi.
Shit, yeah.
And, the last day before we crossed the pass, I think we were so exhausted.
Yeah.
We did about 12 kilometres on the bike. We were just pretty much walking the whole day.
Steep.
It's just, and relentless too. There was no rest in between. It was just going up, up, up. And
were you there yet?
But what was it like coming down though?
Well, and that's the thing. That next day, because we camped just below the pass, we just had these switchbacks, 8 kilometres to the top of the pass, still going up. So we camped at the bottom, got up early the next morning. Brilliant day, no wind, sunshine, warm. We camped at probably about 4,000 metres. Ice in the water bottles, a whole lot. But with the sun on us, it was warm. So we got going and we're going and going, pushing, cycling, and eventually we get to the top and everyone's just over the moon. We're all over the moon now. We've got all this energy all of a sudden. We made it. 4.5 days to get to the top of this pass.
4.5 days.
Yeah. And then, you're looking over the other side and it's just this little winding dirt track heading down the valley, and it's all downhill. And we just know it's going to be downhill for the next 2 or 3 days. So we're this is it. We've made it. Yeah. We can do it. So, you hop on the bikes and everyone's happy, that we've made it over this path.
So did you run out of brakes? Any of that sort of stuff?
Run out of...
Yeah, like a brake rubber.
Pads.
No.
Okay.
No. So going down, this particular pass, it's quite rocky, so you never really could build up a lot of speed.
And what about the tyre rubber? I love this stuff. Did you lose any... so you're still on the same tyres?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm going to check them out tomorrow.
Well, on the bikes now?
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Okay.
Actually, no, sorry. 2, I think, are original.
Okay.
2 are original.
Ghosts, are they Cersei tyres too?
No. No.
Yokohama?
It's German.
German.
Oh,
no, I think they're American, actually.
Mattg, come on over, mate. You've been so patient.
What's he going to do?
What's a good question?
Oh.
What comes to mind? You're from that region. You're from the top end of the world. I don't know.
Iran and London.
Same thing to me, mate.
Is that Australian
I'm from Logan.
geography?
Matt,
right, go on.
you're from London, right?
Give us a good one.
Yeah.
Or you're just trying to process it all.
Have you? Well, first of all, Matt, go.
Because like the I used to cycle quite a lot. I used to cycle into London just an hour a day, back and forth and stuff, and
Good.
near-death experience every day. And then a couple of years ago, did the Sydney to the Gong ride.
Oh yeah.
And that was. God, I was unfit at the time, and it took me far, far longer than it ought to have done. But the thought of getting up and doing it again the following day.
Where'd you go? Sydney to where?
Sydney to the Gong.
Wollongong.
Wollongong. Yeah. He's been here for 10 years. I can't understand you. It was
He's using good Aussie
I felt like I was in
already.
Mongolia. Let's do some sign language.
Sydney to the Gong, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. But the thought of getting up the following day and doing it again.
Yeah.
So did you have rest days?
Yes. Yeah.
How often?
So going back to China was actually really awesome coming through that part of the country because like we started in Urumqi and like the next major town was probably about 250 kilometres. So for us that was going to be about 5 days cycling. So and that pretty much repeated itself all the way to Kashgar. So in that part of the country, pretty much every 5-6 days would end up in a big town. And, we'd stay in a, hotel for a night, maybe 2 nights, and then sort of recharge the batteries, get some good food into us, and then,
I was going to ask about food. How much were you eating?
Same amount for me. I tend to eat quite a bit, no matter what, whether I'm exercising or not.
Because because I used to cycle, even in Sydney, was cycling 30k a day or so.
Yeah,
and I could eat whatever I liked. Didn't put on a kilo.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah,
it was
right.
fantastic. But doing a 100k cycle, only 100k, and I was just on just sweet stuff all day.
Yeah. And I guess
looking for energy, right?
Yeah.
With the children, we had to carry a lot of snacks. So those hour breaks, like cycling for an hour and stopping for a break.
I was just thinking your kids are getting fatter and fatter because they're just on the back of the bike. Yeah, what town next, Dad? Yeah, you guys are just getting thinner and thinner and you just look like Lance Armstrong.
No? Thankfully, no. No, we wouldn't let them. No way.
This ride's just getting heavier and heavier. Well, here comes a 4-day pass. Great. Another packet of chips.
Well, I guess the good thing is when we did stop, like Ezra in particular, if there was any sort of hill around, he'd be charging up the top of that. So that would take care of him. And Sia and Rain, I guess sitting on a bike for an hour, you want to be running off and, doing stuff. So they'd tend to do that. Yeah, they'd stay pretty active. So no problems with that.
I once did a podcast in the chair that you're in.
Yeah.
With a guy called Ethan Bashiri.
Right.
Ethan had to escape Iran because because he said something anti-religious at uni.
Yep.
And his family. It's a great podcast. He's such a dude from Iran. Gold chains, the whole life. Fakhan.
Yeah.
He's a classic great guy I know from the gym, right? And he was a boat person. His family had to rescue him because he was going to be locked up in jail forever. They told him they were going to kill him. His family took him to Turkey, top of Iran.
Yep.
Bundled in the back. He had no idea where he was going other than it was all paid for. He ended up going to somewhere in Jakarta.
Yeah.
Stayed in a house for 3 months without any communication, just him and 9 other people.
Wow.
But then he got on a boat with something like 20-something other people, or maybe even more.
Yep.
And for 5 days, they got on a boat. They still didn't know where they were going because it was all just shut up. You've been paid for. You're escaping.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Dying.
We're going to deliver you. Yeah.
We're going to deliver you. And they, after all, they started. They got lost. Their Indonesian crew didn't know where they were going, so they had to throw all their luggage, all their possessions overboard.
Wow.
And anyway, the Australian government, they ended up at Christmas Island.
Yep.
So here you guys are trying to get into Iran. Okay, is there any hype on the border there?
No.
That you're, some Westerners coming into town?
No, not at all.
Wow.
It's amazing, yeah. Because that particular border, it would see quite a few travellers, especially in the cycle tourists.
Yeah.
Because that is the main border crossing if you're heading into Central Asia, if your ultimate goal is
so historically
Uzbekistan
everyone passes
or the Pamirs,
through.
yeah.
Okay.
But didn't you have any concerns of like maybe being kidnapped or your kids being kidnapped? No?
No, not at all.
So are we actually like
Not at all,
exposed
like,
to
wow.
too much?
100%.
We are.
We are?
Oh, absolutely. No, I never had any worries. Saying that, though, we did meet 2 cyclists who had an issue or a problem one night, and they were camped in Kyrgyzstan, and they'd set up tent off the main road, and then this local guy on horseback came through, and then he started riding over their tent with a horse. And
Riding over their tent.
yeah, so they were in the tent, and then all of a sudden this horse comes charging over their tent, and he was trying to obviously hurt them, if not more. And they managed to get out of the tent, and this guy just kept charging through, and eventually they managed to fight him off, and he disappeared, and I think they ended up packing up their tent and trying go somewhere else that night. And we met them probably about, I don't know, maybe it was a month or 2 months after that, in the middle of the Pamirs. And it was her first cycle tour. So she was just like,
frightened, yeah.
Yeah, and
it could happen any other night.
Yeah, and he wasn't doing much better. They took some time in Kyrgyzstan to sort of recover. I think they took a couple of weeks. Are we going to keep going? Are we going to give this in? What are we going to do? But, to their credit, they kept going. And, but that was all that was on their minds, really. Like the whole time they were cycling, because when we met them in the Pamirs, that was the first thing that came out of their mouths, just about, this is what happened to us in Kyrgyzstan. And it was sort of like, that was the only bad thing that we heard. And you do hear it, amongst tourists, amongst foreigners, you do hear it going down the grapevine and back and forth and all the rest of it. And that's the only bad thing that we actually heard about. Is that 1 in 100 chance probably.
So do you think maybe because we've got our fair share of Wolf Creek and stuff, don't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so maybe
I think I'd be more frightened cycling in Australia in the outback.
Oh really?
Yeah, I reckon.
Well, you've got lots of alcohol, and that's like I was saying before, lots of people who may be good but are poor and need their addictions.
Yeah.
Actually, fair point.
Yeah, they see someone travelling, go, oh, he's rich or something, from another part of the world.
Yeah, and from Tajikistan, because there are no ATMs like in Uzbekistan or in Iran. So from Tajikistan onwards, we were just loaded up with US dollars cash.
Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah. So we were carrying probably about maybe $5,000-6,000 US dollars.
Did you have it in a cool hidey spot?
No, it's funny.
Maybe because you had this good view, like nothing's going to happen, that you didn't bring any bad.
But it's silly, isn't it? Because, we could have rolled it up, put it in the seat stem or something like that. If the bikes get stolen, then it's gone.
Yeah.
You go through all those ideas and, what happens if the bike does get stolen?
Yeah. Which is bound to sort of happen first.
Yeah, well, exactly. And, all your valuable stuff, like we have handlebar bags, so whenever you hop off the bike, that's the first thing you take off. Go into the restaurant, take your handlebar bags. You've got your camera, passports, money, ATM cards and all that sort of stuff. So, it was sort of like, well, do I or don't I? So, I made a little hidey hole in the handlebar bag, but, anyone,
right,
who grabbed the handlebar bag was, sure to find it.
If it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Well, that's right.
Hey?
Exactly. So, what can you do, really, at the end of the day? If it did happen, that would have been the end of our trip anyway, no matter what.
And you're not going to put up any fight with young kids. Just take it. There it is right there.
Yeah. So, and how long was